This is a children's book I literally made last week, and by the end of this video, you're going to learn how to make one too. Because maybe you've always wanted to write a kid's book, maybe you have a story in your head right now, but every time you sit down, you just get stuck. You think you need to know how to draw, you think you know how to be a real writer, you think that it has to take months of work, and none of that is true. I'm going to walk you through the full process from a blank paper onto a real book that you can start to sell on Amazon. No drawing, no writing skills, no waiting. Stick with me to the end and I will show you the exact tools that I use to make the pictures. So let's get started. So this is how you're going to write and publish your kids' book. And this is going to be the step-by-step guide of what it is that you need to do. All right. So your roadmap for today is number one is we're going to find our idea. Second, we're going to write the story. We're going to use ChatGPT because that's one that you could use. You could use Claude. You could use whatever AI system that you like to use. It's creating the art, and I'm going to teach you some tricks on how to do it consistently because that's one of the biggest issues that so many people have. And then we're going to compile and learn to publish our books themselves. All right. So first thing we need to know is we have to find our idea. So what idea do you want to write? Maybe you've had an idea, maybe you just know there is a specific book that you want to put out there, but every great children's book starts with a simple, relatable truth. So here's where to look. Maybe it's a challenge your child faces. So starting school, a new sibling, fear of the dark, a value you want to teach, bravery, kindness, and perseverance, a character you love, a talking animal, a superhero kid, a magic object, a what if question. What if my dog talk? What if monsters were shy? So finding your ID can be something that could be really helpful. And if you're not really sure, you can actually have a conversation with AI to talk it out with you to say, hey, I want to create this book. I'm not really sure what's going on. These are certain scenarios that happened to my child, or a certain scenario that happened to me when I was a kid, and I want to be able to create something. And guess what? You'll be able to try to figure out what that thing is. All right. So developing your story. So there's really multiple types of books that you can write. So you can actually write an actual story with text and you can write the text. You can have AI do it all for you. Just give it the idea and you go back and forth with it. But the one, just warning you with that, when people use AI fully, what ends up happening is that they end up getting AI slop, which you can just tell it's AI. So what I would suggest, even if you just take a voice note or something, talk to, a recorder and put it in your voice, in your tone of what the story is, what you want to see, and then give that to AI and say, hey, use this tone. Try to make it as much as possible, with the language that I use of this style that I want to use, because that's going to be able to help you make it more real. And it's going to give you your voice to the actual story. So that's one big suggestion that I use when I use AI. So if you want to just keep it tight, just get it out there because honestly, when most people, and I see this in the community that I run all the time, is that when most people start writing a book, there's usually more than one book in them. So what we have to try to figure out is, okay, how can I get this first one out? How can I learn the process and make it happen? All right. So in regards to the actual story, we want to have the beginning to the chat to the book, so to introduction to your character and set up the problem. The middle, your character tries and maybe fails to solve it. And then at the end, a resolution and emotional payoff for the child feels. You can use ChatGPT and paste our idea to ask it to make a 12-page manuscript, which we are going to do together very shortly. All right. Next, when you're writing the prompts, you could literally tell it what you're looking to do. So write a 12-page children's book for ages 3 to 6 about a girl who's scared of thunderstorms. Each page should be 1 to 2 short sentences, include beginning, middle, and end. The message is blank, it's okay to feel scared, right? Whatever it is that you're going to be putting in there. And you could talk to ChatGPT beforehand to try to figure out what those specific ideas are. And I already have a specific idea that I want to work on. All right, that we're going to talk about in a second. All right, generating your illustrations. So, children's book illustration, a girl with curly red hair hugging a teddy bear during a storm, soft watercolor style, warm pastels, white background, ages 3 to 6. And you might be saying, Bennett, I have no idea like how to come up with those ideas of what style I want. So what I would suggest to you is that you go online, go through a book that you like, take a picture of a style that you like and just say, hey, this is the style of book that I want. Can you help me recreate this style in my specific story? And I'm telling you, it does wonders because then it'll come up with the idea of the soft watercolor style. You don't have to get overwhelmed about what prompts you're going to give it. Okay. So make sure that you can do that in order to make it happen, right? So you can use in order to create the pictures, ChatGPT, Midjourney, Firefly, you do all these different ideas to do that. All right. Compiling your book into PDF. So now that you have all your pages, now you want to compile it into a PDF. So for Amazon, you have to use a PDF ready at 300 DPI, which is just some fancy just technology telling you about the style of the book. And then you have to just pick all these different ideas. So what's the trim size? So you want it to be an 8 by 5 by 8 by 5, which is the book that I currently wrote. One illustration and text per page. I'm working with somebody right now in the community, and that's what he's doing. He's doing a illustration on one side and text on the other side, including the title page, the copyright page, the back cover. So all the different front matter and back matter, which I have a PDF that if you want, be happy to link it down below. And then export your PDF all together as one, which I have a really cool website that does it automatically. You don't have to sign in, it just does it for you. And then publishing on Amazon, right? So you have to create an account and put it up. And in my community, I walk the step-by-step process of what you need to do in order to get it onto Amazon. That is probably one of the most tedious jobs I would say about this whole process. All right. So that being said, right, let's jump in and let's create our first book. Okay, this is the community. So if you are interested in creating your own children's book, feel free to join the community. We are on school.com. I'll put a link as well down below. Okay, so we're going to start literally from scratch. This is an idea that I thought, let's do this. So what I'm going to do is my son is starting school next year, and we're going to create a dinosaur who is starting their first day of school. So let's just talk to it. I want to create a book, let's say a children's book, right? The more details, the better. Children's book about a child who about a dinosaur. We're gonna do dinosaur. About a dinosaur who is starting school. All right, let's see what it comes up with. All right, this is literally what we're doing. And one of the things that I want to try to also do is I don't want to just tell it to make the whole book for me because then number one is that it creates more AI slop. And number two, what it does is it doesn't give us like our own creativity within the actual book. So I like creating just the actual style of the book, like the format, the layout, go through that, and then go into creating the characters and so on and so forth. Absolutely, for ages 4 to 8, the story should be simple, reassuring, funny, and emotionally relatable. Okay. It's asking 28 to 32 pages. We're gonna knock that down. Dino's first day of school. Tiny Rex starts school. Nervosaurus goes to school. The day Dino roared no. Rex very first. I like the last one. Rex very first day. So we can use that. Let's just say too many. I want the whole thing to be, let's say, 20 pages. 20 pages. I like this title. Right? And if you have your own title that you like, that'd be great. If you have something that you like, that would be fun also. Okay. And literally, see, it told me to do 32 pages, whatever. Where is it? Right, 20 to 32 pages. I think that's too long for me, specifically just for this example. You could do more, you could do less, yada yada yada. All right, here we go. So 20 pages, including the title page. Target age 4 to 8. This version keeps the story moving quickly, give plenty of room for illustrations, and follows the classic picture. Okay, title page. Rex, the very first big illustration. Rex, a small green dinosaur with a giant backpack standing proudly in front of his house. Page 2. Rex loved collecting shiny rocks. He loved puddle stomping, and he loved triple berry pancakes. Awesome. But tomorrow was different. Tomorrow was his first day of school. Awesome. Love this. Okay, the worries begin the night before, right? How many times has our kids told us like they're not going to school tomorrow no matter what? So definitely very relatable. Silly worry number one. Then Rex mentioned the worst. What if he accidentally roared during quiet time? That's hilarious, right? So it really comes up with great stuff. So I like it. Okay, and then you can go back and forth with it. Okay, so I'm just say I like it. I like it. Can we work on creating Rex and his mother first? Let's do each one separately. Okay, and the reason why I want to create the characters first is so we can have character consistency. That's one of the hardest things that happens with children's books. So understanding that could be just something smart to do. I do with all my characters because that could be um, something that we want to do. All right, this joke. Okay, equine to 5-year-old child. Turn around, large hair, small body, T-Rex, tiny T-Rex, tiny T-Rex arms. Funny, probably get made fun of at school. Okay. Um, okay, I'll just let it do its thing over here. Okay, let's go with your idea for Rex Can can you create an image for me? Also, I would want a prompt that I can reuse as well. Okay, so one of the things that you want to try to do is you want to get a prompt. So it really just a picture of Rex, right? The text of what Rex would look like, so you can reuse that as well multiple times because that could be very beneficial. All right, so let's see what Rex is going to look like, and then we can go back and forth and try to figure out what we want. Um, Maybe wanted to change them a little bit, but this could be something that's going to be exciting. So it takes a while. This is probably one of the most patient things that you need to do, as well as when you go through the different scenes and whatnot. It can be really annoying because it might mess one thing up in the background, and then you have to start doing editing and whatnot. So in the community, we actually talk about all the different things that you need to do. So this is part of the process, but people think AI is so easy, but then they like go through this, and then it's like tough. Oh wow, he is really adorable. Let's give like, and they actually gave us the different face pictures. Let's make him look more friendly. Can we make him look more friendly? He looks a little scary. Also, he looks like an alligator. Can we make him look more like a dinosaur and cat? Okay, here we go. So this is literally it. Going back and forth, trying to create the character. And then once we have the character, then we can look to create the actual scenes of the actual 20 pages, which can be which is something that we're going to want to do. Okay, so let's wait here. All right, so this definitely looks more friendly. He looks more like a kid, which is great. Still looks a little bit like an alligator, but we'll keep it for what it is. All right. So that being said, now we're going to start creating the scenes. All right. Right. If you know you have certain characters that could be using over and over again, then we would create them also. So technically the mother we should do, and all the other characters that you might think. If there are other random one-off characters, maybe like the teacher, maybe the teacher might be in multiple scenes, but if there are other characters that might not be around, so then in that case, we should probably create them. But if it's multiple characters and other scenes, then don't worry about it. Just let AI do its thing. All right. Okay, great. Let's lock in this character. Can we come up with the first three scenes? These three scenes. Can you create prompts for all of them? Right. Now let's see what we got. All right. So this is it. So all we did was he took that prompt that it gave us. We're here, the prompt, copied it, pasted it down here. We'll see if Rex looks the same. And if he doesn't, then guess what? We will add the reference picture, but I'm hoping it picks up the reference picture since we just made it. Amazing how cute that is, right? It looks like our character. I like the style actually. It looks very friendly. Pancakes, rocks, splashing in mud. Okay. Looks like he's actually throwing the rocks in the mud. Okay, so this is all stuff that we like. Okay, let's do the second scene. I'll take this scene instead. Let's see what the text should say. Oh, here. Okay, so the actual text is there. So there's two ideas that we can do with the text, depending on how you want it. So either you could put the text underneath it, which we could go to Canva. You could put the picture up, and then we could put the text underneath it. Or what we could do is we could actually just make its own page with the text itself, which could be something which I'll show you in a second. It ends up adding more pages to the book. Um, but then again, it's depending on the type of book. It could be something that could be beneficial. Oops, he might roar, right? That's an amazing picture. Look at the faces on all the different animals. They're holding on over there. That's hilarious. All right, so there you go. So that's the basic idea. We have our pictures. Now, let's say here, what if I accidentally roared during quiet time? Okay, can we? I want to put the text on its own page. Can you come up with a design for it? Design for it. This is this. Use this text. Text. All right. So this is if you want to put the text on one page and the picture on the other page. And then I'm going to show you how to create the PDF. So pretty much what you need to do is you need to go through all the different scenes, all the different texts. The more preparation you have beforehand, that's going to really help you complete the actual picture and on the back end. So just make sure that you're doing that also. Okay, so you could have something like this where it's actually really exciting. Or you could say, I only want text and no pictures. Just want a nice font. I do like how it says roared out loud. Okay. So it agrees with me that the roared over here, in fact, the roared's so large. Um, so that's great. So, and really just going back and forth and talking to it. That's going to be the thing that's going to let's create it. Okay. After this, we're going to download the different scenes that we have, and then we're going to put them in a PDF, and then we're going to upload them to Amazon. We might not do that Amazon piece over here just because it's like really tedious. But once again, you can join my community and you can see it over there. Amazing. Love that. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. Okay. We're gonna take three, let's say we have the three documents. So we have this page. We're gonna download this guy. One, two, I'm gonna do three. Okay. And this is what we're gonna go to. All right, this is a nice little trick, PDF 24. So this is a website you go to. It compiles and splits PDFs that you have. So if you want to be uploading anything onto Amazon, this does a great job. I believe you can do this on Canva also. It's pretty simple over there too, but I just found this pretty simple. Okay, so we're gonna merge PDFs and we're gonna choose the three files that we have. One, two, and we can reorder them, so don't worry. Three. Okay, so we're gonna put this one over here. And let's go merge PDF. Awesome. And now we're going to do dinosaur book. Dinosaur book. We're not going to do final yet because everybody knows there are a million finals. All right. And then you download it. Let's open it. Amazing. Now it's on its own PDF. Look at that. It's amazing. This is literally a book. This is basically literally a book. Okay. So now we go to Amazon KDP, Amazon/KDP. Okay. And then you go over there, you sign up for your own your account and you make it happen. This is the book I was just telling you that I created, which is pretty sweet. And then we take it from there. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to check out the resources down in the comments below. And we'll see everybody on the next video. If there's any specific things you want to learn how to make, be happy to do it. If you want to make your own children's book, join the community. I'm telling you, so many people have so many books in their minds, and just let's get it on the paper. And that could be something that could be really, really, like we could be really, really helpful for you. All right. See everybody in there.